Hi there. This is my update on the Thor movie. I have watched Captain America. Okay, well, I'm watching them in order. So Captain America, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and then Thor. So, but you caught me on the end of Iron Man 2, I believe. So we're just gonna start with Thor. Okay, Thor was so good. Because I've been living under a rock and everyone's already seen these movies and I haven't and I'm behind, but then I still live on the internet. I kind of already know some things, not super like plot details wise, but I know things like this character is bad or they just like look evil. So I knew that Loki was going to be evil, but I was just sad at how it happened. And I'm like, ugh, this is so like not okay. So let me give, this is my, welcome to my half-baked opinion, because it's gonna take some time to settle in, a rewatch, some thought, but I love giving a half-baked opinion because it's just off the dome. But I also watched this movie like a week ago, so it's not really the most fresh. Anyway, my thoughts about this movie, 10 out of 10, is super good. I mean, honestly, the beginning really had me when they were little boys, and then their wise father, the king of Asgard, was like, one of y'all is gonna be king. And like, we're all looking at Thor, and we're like, hope it's not him. But obviously, I know he's in the Avengers, so I'm like, I don't know, but he's gonna, like, what's it called when you, like, he's headstrong and like really wants war at this point in the movie. And I mean, he showed signs of that as a kid, and then he grows up and he's like still like that. So you're like, what's going on? And then Loki's just like, they're British for some reason. That's just like my own opinion. Not opinion, it's something I noticed. It's like whenever you need a character to be from a different place, they're from the UK. I mean, I think maybe the actors are British. See, and that's me living under a rock again. So anyway, back to the movie. I knew that Loki was evil, but I was interested in seeing how that would play about. And yeah, this movie really, it hurt my heart a little bit for Loki. I'm not even gonna lie. At the end of like the entire movie, you just realize that Loki just didn't believe that he was already loved by his father. And that just was giving the prodigal son to me and the other son. So like Thor would obviously be the prodigal son, and then like the brother of the prodigal son would be Loki. And I was just like, that hurts. It hurts to read that in the Bible because it's relatable and you kind of understand. Like the older brother is like, Dad, I've been here this whole time and you've never fattened a calf for me and had a feast for me. And the father's like, son, everything I have is yours. And son's like, dang, I didn't even think about that. Well, he doesn't really have a reaction, but you know, that's like what we think. And so with Loki, it just really broke my heart because he didn't feel like he was like loved. He always felt second because Thor would always get like things for some reason. But it's not like he was always good either. I could see like if one's the good child and the other one's the mischievous child. Not mischievous, let me not use that word. But one's like the troublemaker. But after Loki starts trying to kill everybody, everyone's like, he's always been down for mischief, but this? So I'm like, y'all both were just like a little bit out the way, you know? I feel like that gives you an equal chance. And then you find out that not only is that not your dad, but your dad's the one they've been fighting. He's like, what am I? What am I really? Watch those lines not be in the script. That's how I remember it. So yeah, I definitely, I felt that. I was like, oh, that's a bad one. Bad thing to feel. But then on the other hand, the entire time he's talking to his like adopted father really about like, why did you adopt me? Who am I? Like the dad doesn't go, dang it, you broke my cover. You're not my son and I hate you. He literally goes, you're my son. Like, and that's what it is. You're my son. And then he's like, well, what am I really? Am I a giant frost? Not a giant frost. Am I a frost giant? He's like, you're my son. How about that? Anyway, So that was like, okay, just believe that you're his son and don't be evil. So then y'all can like rule Asgard together or something. I don't know. Like it could be nice. It could be okay. But of course the enemy was like, you don't belong. You're an orphan and you're evil in your origin. Be evil. So whatever. But then this is what got me. So like, lock in. This is what got me. His father not only said like, you're my son. Then he's like, well, why did you adopt me? He literally, the dad adopted Loki so that he could unite the two kingdoms. This is no longer biblical. He adopted Loki so that he could unite the kingdoms. Does that not make Loki the chosen one? Like, literally makes him the chosen one in that sense. Not like the chosen one in like the actual story of Thor or whatever, but like the chosen one of his own narrative. Like you were literally, I mean, just think about it without any of the context of the actual movie. And like he had like his own movie and he was the main character. And he's like, I found out that the wise king that I knew was my father was not my father at all. But that I am one of the frost giants. And on his last breath, because the fathers always have to die, his last breath, he said that he wanted to unite the kingdoms. But how can I unite the kingdoms if I'm a frost giant? And then boom, and then you have the hero's journey, a 3-act like arc, and he ends up uniting the kingdoms and ruling with Thor, and it's fun. See, that could be something, but the enemy said not on my watch. But when the devil says no, God says yes. So that's where my heart lands on this movie. That's kind of how it is in my half-baked opinions. It's that like, yes, the entire movie was good, but this is the part that stuck with me and that I want to talk about. So this is what we're talking about today. Low-key being the chosen one. Nah, because Thor left that woman just like Captain America left what's her name. And I was like, we're not doing this again. We are not doing this again. So one of them has to get back to their girl, because I'm not watching this in every movie. And the girls cannot be dying, because Spider-Man 2 that hurt me. He said, and she was gone. Also, side note, but when Loki was hanging on to Thor, and Thor was hanging on to his father, and then you just see that Loki's a little boy that wants to be loved. And is, but can't see it because sin separates us from God in our minds. Now we're back to the Bible. So literally, he's like, and then mind you, he had just tried to kill his father. He just tried to kill Thor. So he was on this whole thing where he was motivated by sin, by his literal like not seeing things clearly. He was motivated to take bad actions. But when it just gets down to it, when it gets down to the trigger of your sin, then that lie that you are believing that needs to be exchanged for truth, he was like hanging on and he was like, Dad, I really could have done it. And then the dad was like, no, Loki. That's all he said. But that no felt like rejection. And then who let go? Was it the father or was it Loki? Loki let go. That one hurt, didn't it? Yeah, it hurt me too. Let me hold your hand. Maybe it just hurt me, but I felt that. I was like, ah. We could have had it all. So yeah, that one hurt. because the father never let go. He didn't say, no, Loki, you bad, 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 shameful son of Asgard. No, he didn't say any of that. He literally was like, no, Loki. He could have been like, no, Loki, you're actually wrong about this. You're my son. All he said was, and he was so gentle, no, Loki. He said, and they're like, no. They should have cast me in this movie. I'm too invested. I'm literally too invested. I'm gonna just do reenactments. This was them. They're hanging on. This is the insert of the close-up of hanging on. You know, you gotta have a little struggle. He's like, I fell on my floor. And then you have the close-up of the father holding Thor's hand, so he's still hanging on. Can you tell it's my own hand? And then, I guess he's still hanging on. No, Loki. No! Anyway, I think Thor was doing all the screaming. Anyway, that's my half-baked opinion on this movie. And I'm excited to give you more. This was really fun. I'm watching The Avengers right now. This is the first Avengers movie, but is there a movie called The First Avengers? Whatever. This is Avengers 2012. Avengers. So that's what I'm watching right now. Just saw Captain America and Iron Man team up against Loki. And I was like, oh, two people fighting together. This is gonna be more of that. So yes, toodles, TTYL. Thank you so much for watching. This is really fun. I'm also gonna have updates on the comic book, the graphic novel that I'm reading. There are no updates on Pride and Prejudice. The book has been closed for now. And then the last update is something I haven't mentioned, a book called The Mysterious Benedict Society. I have opened her back up. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. This was really, really fun. And I'm so glad that we got to talk these opinions together, that I got to do a little bit of a reenactment. I don't know if I'm keeping that in, and that we just got to have fun. So yeah, and if you have seen the movie a long time ago and you want to rewatch it, please do. Please look out for what I looked out for and literally comment, send me a message, make a video yourself and send that to me and be like, this is what I thought about this and blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, oh, dang, I didn't see it that way. I'll be like, I didn't see it that way, but yeah, I see that. Anyway, TTYL, bye.